and she's amazing. I love her already. So today she has an awesome Instagram where she shares all things about her family. And today she is going to share with us cultivating family relationships and dirt simultaneously.
Yes. Love it.
So Abby, if you could give us just one, I don't know, just drops a truth bomb on us right now, like something will just give our readers like a sense of who you are and
what I'm all about.
What you're all about. Yeah.
So I think like sharing love, light, and truth through being super authentic and super true to who you are is just the most freeing thing. And I'm learning that more people like don't know how to do that than do it. And it's so much easier. Like it's so easy to just like let it all go and just like live true to yourself. Like be true to who you are and just let the judgment go, let the crap go, let the pride go, and just be.
I love that. And I feel that from you. Like the first time, so Abby and I, we just met. We talked on the phone earlier this week. And from the first time I spoke on the phone with you, I felt that from you. So I think that is really special and unique that you create that for people. And in fact, I told Abby earlier, I'm like, this is the first time I've ever done a Facebook live by myself before. But I felt like, oh yeah, I can do this with Abby. Like, I can totally do this.
We got this.
You create that space for people.
We'll make a course on how to do this later.
Totally.
I'm kidding.
Okay, so I have Abi Ayres here. If you guys want to start a watch party, we'd love to have everyone join us. She's going to share with us, again, how to cultivate family relationships and dirt simultaneously, including all things about homesteading, which is chicken, kombucha, gardening, you name it. All the things. Yes.
Because I'm a gangster homesteader. Yeah, I'm not like the prairie.
You're
have
cool.
Like a full farm. I'm like in the middle of the city and we're just winging it. So yeah,
I love it. And you're bringing everyone along for your journey.
Everyone along for the journey. Yeah, no, it's been so fun. Like Ammon is my husband and we just love doing projects. And we've gotten into all these different things. Like we've flipped houses. We've got chickens now. We have like, whenever we're like, ooh, that sounds so cool. Like beekeeping, like we've always wanted to do it, but we've always been like really nervous or scared. And we're getting them in 2 weeks. We have no idea what we're doing. And I'm like, we're
That's
just
cool.
Coming in and doing it. Like, and if we fail, we fail. And if we don't fail, like, how cool will that be? Such a fun learning experience. So we wrote this course on homesteading. And we like called it homesteading because everything kind of fits under that category. So we brew kombucha and we make sourdough bread and we just got chickens and we love to garden. So it's like, okay, like all of these things that we're doing as a family, they kind of go under the category of homesteading. And when I think of homesteading, I'm like, that seems like so overwhelming. Like canning or like sourdough starts, like it just seems really overwhelming. And the truth is it's not like as scary as it seems. So we wrote this course to be like, if we can do it, you can do it too. And it's been so fun, like fun seeing people in New York, like with little plants on their balcony.
That you inspired. That's amazing.
Like, yeah, great. Like if we can help other families and people like connect with their families and dirt and Mother Nature, like I feel like that's a win for us.
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk more about that. I want to know from your perspective, what do you feel like connecting with dirt and Mother Nature? Like, what does that really do for people and kids? Can you talk more about that?
Yes. It's so funny because there is no other feeling that comes. Like there is no other feeling you can get. And I don't know what the word is. We're going to have to come up with a word. But you know what I'm talking about because you have you have your own little homestead.
I have a little plot of land.
But when you take control of your land, even if it's your apartment or your whatever, like your space, and you start like working it and utilizing those assets, it is like the most gratifying, rewarding feeling. And I think that's like an ancestral thing. Like, I think as humans, like, for how many generations of time have people like worked their land and grown their vegetables and grown their pigs and their cows and their, and gone hunting, and like that's what we did for like hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah.
So I think that that is like a part of our genes and our like just our profile as humans. And so when we connect back to that, it sparks all of these emotions and all of this like energy from like our ancestors and our past, but then it also connects like our future. I don't know, it's the weirdest feeling, but it is so incredible. And to like eat, I don't know, eat a beet from the garden from
that you grew. Yeah.
It's just an amazing feeling. It's just the circle of life and connecting with the earth. And like, I am not a hippie, but maybe I should be. like it's just such an amazing feeling that you can't get from anywhere else. And learning, like connecting with our ancestors that way, but then also teaching our children and like becoming more self-sufficient. And it's funny, like with COVID, like that is a hot topic. Like more and more people are like, oh my gosh, like there's no beef in the store, or there's no eggs. Like I couldn't get eggs for 3 weeks. And I'm like, I'm so
crazy, huh?
It's like, and if worst case scenario, like, what do we do? What do we do? How do we live? And how do we live on the land? And, 6 years ago, I would have been totally like, I got nothing for you. So it's been a process, but it has been like, there's so many like things, but I've kind of narrowed it down to four specific things, like things that it does. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking a lot, but
no, this is great. Like I want to hear from you. So yeah, let's Abby's gonna say some really awesome things right now. So start a watch party so you can more people. I want to hear from more people to be able to hear you and really experience this for themselves. It's like connecting to earth, because I agree. I don't know what exactly you would call it, like you said, but it does something like inside of a person. I agree.
Doesn't it like feed your soul? Like, I don't know, just getting your hands dirty, like, or baking bread from only two things, from flour and water. Like, anyway,
I've never done that. I'll have to.
Well, it's amazing.
I'm gonna buy your book.
Like, wow, this. Yeah, I did the whole course. But yeah, like when you literally bake a loaf of bread with just flour and water, no yeast, no, and it just starts raising, and you like bite into it, and you're like, I didn't even know. Anyway, so I feel like the four things that it really like helps our family with, and me and Ammon talked about this last night. We were like, why do we do it? And like, what are like the four key benefits? I think that they are this. They like, we cultivate together, so we work together, and that bonds our family. We learn together, like life lessons. We learn so much, and that bonds our family. We grow together, right? Like we love and we build and we trust and we communicate, and that like totally bonds our family. And then we reap together, and that is like super bonding, right? With the earth, with the ancestors, with everything, when we actually get to enjoy the fruits of our labor. So those are the four things: cultivating together, learning together, growing together, and reaping together.
That's really cool.
I know, sorry, I'm like those, but like, and I'm sure there's more, but I think those, for us, those are like the top four things.
Main things. Okay, what so you said you just started this within the last few years. Like, what sparked this for you and your family?
So so when Ammon and I first got married, I got really sick. Like I gained 60 pounds in like 6 months. And like, if I tried to gain 60 pounds in 6 months, I honestly don't think I could do it. Like, I don't know what happened. I gained like so much weight, and it was like really scary. And I would break out into these rashes all over my body. And so I got diagnosed. I think we went to 6 different doctors, 6 different specialists. And we were super poor. We had no money, no insurance. We were going to specialist after specialist, no answers. And I'd break into these hives all over my body every day.
Wow.
And it was like a really, really hard time. Ammon was working full-time, going to school full-time. I was working full-time, traveling all over the country. It was like, it's just like a very difficult time. And I was diagnosed with chronic urticaria, and which is just chronic hives. And they're like, we don't know why, but like, here you go. And I just had to take medicine every day. And it was just like, it was getting worse, not better. And it was just like a really hard, difficult time in our marriage, in our lives. And anyway.
Yeah.
So after like a ton of prayer and searching and not like just trying to figure it out myself, since no professional was doing that for me, me and an allergist finally like figured out that I was allergic to mold and dust mites. But I'm not normally allergic to them. I just was, because I had this like, I don't know, it was like this weird thing. But we found out that my gut was I had leaky gut, which is like a really weak gut. And everything I was eating and consuming would like get into my bloodstream, and it was just like a mess. So we had to move out of our apartment. We had to like quarantine from all this stuff, get in a sterile place. And he said, something that would help you is kombucha. It's like a probiotic drink that there's no sugar in it. So it'll help curb your like sugar cravings. It's like, there's so many health benefits to it. And I think that you should try it. So I like started drinking kombucha, and it like literally changed my life. And I'm not saying that kombucha is like, that isn't like gonna cure cancer or anything, but it
for
like,
you, yeah,
really helped like strengthen my gut. That and like getting away from mold and dust mites, obviously. And so it was like a natural thing that I could do. And that kind of like sparked something in both Ammon and I, where it was like, the freak is kombucha? And like we started researching about it and learning about it, and it's super expensive. If you go to the store and buy it, it's like $4 a bottle. So we learned that you can brew your own kombucha. And so we like we were like so scared that we do it wrong or whatever. So we like started brewing our own, and it was way cheaper, way better. And like that kind of like sparked our little like, okay, like that there's that. And then gateway. Yeah, the gateway drug. But yeah, it was really cool. It bonded us. It did those 4 things. It like, we had to work really hard to figure out like what the crap was wrong with us. We learned together like how to help our guts and how to brew the kombucha. We grew together for sure. Like we went through this huge thing, and then we reaped together the benefits, and we're still reaping those benefits. And and then over time, like we got a huge yard, and Ammon had all these grass clippings, and he's like, what the freak do I do with these grass clippings? Like they fill up our garbage, and I'm just throwing them away, and there's no space in our garbage. So then we like started composting, and then we started doing sourdough. Like one of my friends was super into sourdough, and I'm like, I want to try that. So I started doing that. And then gardening, like we got this new house, and we had some landscapers come, and they're like, do you want us to build boxes for your garden? And I'm like, yes, since I'm totally a gardener. I'm a gardener. Like 6 huge boxes. And I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And then
you didn't grow up doing that. Having a gardener.
No, I grew up weeding for sure. And like, I grew up doing not gardening, but like plants and planting and mowing the lawn and weeding and all that, but not like vegetables and fruit. Anyway, and then we got into gardening, which led us into canning and all that stuff. So it kind of was just like this slow process. And like soon we were like, wow, we're like doing all these things. Then we finally decided to get chickens, and it was like, okay, we're homesteaders. Like we're making this legit. Like this is crazy, and it's been so fun. Like I think our kids have just like learned with us, and it's just been so good for our family to do these things. Instead of watching a show, we'll go out in the garden and spend 3 hours together, and we'll be working so hard. And like I said, that feeling, we've got to name it something. Like, what is it?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. It's just awesome. But
That's
tell me about yours. Like, how did you get into because you
my garden?
Yes, you have the most gorgeous yard and garden, and
thank you.
You're in Arizona, so I feel like you have the advantage of like.
Yeah, so ours is just a little ahead of yours.
Oh gosh, mine was like so far behind.
But come July, ours will be like scorched nothing, and yours will be like beautiful. So just a trade-off. But I guess for me, growing up, my dad, even my grandparents, it's always had a beautiful garden. They had like an acre garden, my grandparents did. And then my dad also had a garden. But just recently, well, along the way, I've had little gardens. But I decided last year, like, I want a legitimate garden. And I don't know, just I love being out there. Like if I'm feeling like, I don't know, if you're feeling not great, you just go out to your garden and you're suddenly like working in the dirt and you're just like feeling better. And it's just amazing what it can do. And I've seen as my kids have grown, my oldest is 12. When they were little, I had a little plots of garden, you know, the whole time, I guess, since they've been growing up. But I even remember them going out there when they were 2 and 3 and helping me water. And they're just naturally just so curious and fascinated. I loved what you said earlier, like, it's only been the last 100 years that we haven't probably gardened. Yeah.
Like if people didn't garden, they're like, what's wrong with you? Like,
yeah,
it wasn't even like an option, right?
Yeah, that's like how you ate food, is you put it in your garden. Yeah.
Well, I think people make it out to be so much harder than it is. Like it's like canning. Oh my gosh, like never
blow up your house.
Well, it's terrifying. Like my mom like scared me as a child. She's like, we will never count in this house because it will literally like, you know, the pop of the top of the pan will fly off and decapitate. It's like, oh, okay. But when you do it, it's like, this is it. Like, okay, I could do this. You know,
you're giving me courage.
Or like with your garden, it's like, oh my gosh, seeds are so scary. And it's like, you literally put seed in dirt, make sure it gets water and sun. Like obviously there's more to go behind it and you can like always be better, but to get started it's like not as scary as you think. Don't you think?
Tell us
like,
more.
Your kid like, pulling out that turnip, I was like, oh.
That was awesome, huh?
Yes.
I had this video, if anyone hasn't, a lot of you probably haven't seen it, but it's Trip, my 5-year-old, he just turned 5, pulling out a radish that's really big and overgrown, but he pulls it out and he was like,
it's like
he's like so excited. Yes. But just that pure joy, I don't know, it's crazy. It's amazing that kind of joy can be found from like pulling out a radish out of the garden.
It's the reaping, right? It's like the accomplishment and like the pride and the like it's literally reaping like the fruits of your labor. And there's just with a job, it's like, okay, you get money and you get paid, but it's like, okay, immediately we've got to pay taxes, we've got to pay tithing, we got to pay this, we got to pay this bill, we got to pay this bill, and we're left with $100 hopefully. But with your garden, it's like, this is all just like feast. This is all like benefiting us. And it's like, we just put in the time and the effort. Anyway, it's just wonderful to see how like, I think that we were meant to do this. Like, I think we were meant to be in the dirt and to work the land and to enjoy, like, what is life all about? It's about like growing and with our families. Like,
yeah,
I can't think of many things. I mean, enjoying going boating and going skiing and doing all those fun things with family. Like, that's so fun. But like, what do we actually do to work with our families besides cleaning the house and doing our laundry? Like, besides cleaning the car and cleaning the house and doing the laundry and reading and, you know, doing your homework or whatever, like schoolwork, gosh. But like, what do you actually do with your family that's work? Like, how many families actually work together and like contribute together to create something?
Yeah,
like,
for this common.
That doesn't come. Yeah, like the dad and the mom work and they bring in the money and the kids, you know, they have to do their chores and stuff, but there's no like, when you clean the house, it's like, okay, great, I've got a clean house. But like, that's the reward. And to kids, it's like, okay, they don't even want, you know, where this is like a way, I don't know. There's not many things you can do as a family unit where it's like, we're actually working and cultivating and growing and learning all together.
All together. Yeah, that's cool. I like how you said it right there. So I'd like to, I had a question. So first of all, if you know anyone watching that has an awesome garden, tag them here. They're going to love hearing what Abby has to say.
I want to follow them. No one is a master gardener because we can all learn more, right?
It's true. So tag any master gardeners. We want to learn from them. And or anyone that is wanting to start a garden, tag them here because I want to hear from you. I know you said it's not that difficult. Like you can make it simple. So anyone that say wanted to get started in gardening, where would you tell them to start? Or wanted to start any of these homesteading things, what would you say would be the first step?
Well, okay. And I think that is like why I wrote this course. Because when you go online, okay, when you talk to a neighbor or talk to anyone, they literally give you all the information. And then you're even more overwhelmed because it's like, oh my gosh, like stop. You're making me so anxious that I just don't even want to start. Like that's how I felt. I was like, like they're talking about eggshells. They're talking about all this stuff, like llama poop and like this is what you're or canning. It's like, okay, you're canning like I don't know, bratwursts. Like I don't even, you know what I mean? Like they have all these crazy recipes and all this crazy stuff. Or you go online and it's just like blog after blog after blog. And it's just like so overwhelming. And I was like, this is just too much. So me and Ammon just jumped in and we just went for it. And we learned by trial and error. And then if we wanted like a specific information, then we'd go on Google or look at blogs. But it was like more of a specific thing instead of like, we don't even know where to start. So Ammon and I wrote this little course exactly for that reason. It was like, where do I even start? What do I even do? What does soil mean? What kinds of soil are there? Like, I don't know the difference between topsoil and planting soil and like, you know, what I use where. So we literally like sat down and just wrote out like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Like these are the things. Or how do you make kombucha? Like brewing kombucha seems really hard. Or or you know, sourdough start. So we literally were like, you do this, 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 this. If you want to look up more, go research the crap, but at least like the crap out of it. But at least you know like the basic steps of where to start and where to get started. And then go. But here's your one-on-one. And it's just like very straightforward to the point information. So that's what we did. But honestly, if you don't want to buy my course, that's totally fine. Like it's meant to help, but like just start by doing it. Like just go do it. Go buy the seeds, go buy the chickens and just like learn and ask people. And if you get overwhelmed, like take a step back, breathe and be like, if this fails and if this is terrible, what is the worst thing that will happen? You weren't worse off than when you started. You might have lost a couple of bucks, you know, getting into it, or just learn from your mistakes and keep going. Like that's a part of it, right? Like growing together is like the failures. And I think that's what people are scared of is this, they're scared of failure. It's like, wait, why are you're failing even before you begin then if you don't even start? Like at least fail once or twice or 10 times and then you're done. You're done failing. You're failing to success, you know?
Yeah, I love that. I think you're right. Like, I know for me, for me, I'll just speak for myself, that failure is scary, but I don't know why, because failure is what gets you closer to like your end result, like where you want to be. Yeah. So I love what you're saying there.
Well, and I think me, like I just wrote this course and I just transplanted all my plants and I'm like, I'm pretty sure like at least 1/4 of them died.
Aww.
And I'm like,
your babies.
Like that's what gardening is. Like sometimes it takes, sometimes it freezes and there's a freeze and there's nothing you can do. and that's out of your control. And guess what? Like, you go get some more starters and you put them in the dirt. Like, you can always start again. You can always start again. Like, the only thing is with canning, when you blow up your house.
That's a big failure.
I'm just kidding. No, it's seriously not as scary as people make it out to be.
Yeah, so I have 4 garden beds. One of my garden beds is out of commission this year because it's so full of Bermuda grass that it just can't, I couldn't even plant anything. So you're right. There's like, every year brings a new like challenge and a new thing to figure out. And maybe that's like some of the beautiful things about homesteading too, is just
and then you get to
stuff
teach your kids that, right? You're like one of our chickens, we have no idea where it is. We're pretty sure it's, you know, isn't that cute? And to tell our kids, like, hey, that's a part of life. Like, a hawk probably came and took the chicken away, or we didn't tell them that, but we're like,
yet
I'm like, we're never gonna see that chicken again, and it's heartbreaking, but like, they have learned so much, and they learn to love the chicks even more, and like, kind of be grateful for the time that they had. And like, it's not the death of, you know, a family member or somebody super, like, it's not so traumatic that but it's still like, it hurts. And they learned like a very valuable lesson, and it opened up a conversation about what we believe. Like, well, where did the chicken go? And is it like, and we got to talk about, you know, our beliefs, where we think that, you know, we believe that after this life, there's life and there's a God. And we kind of got into that discussion, and it's like, okay, like, how would have we had this conversation? We would have had to wait until one of our parents died or so, you know, and
it just wouldn't naturally have happened. Yeah.
And it's so close to them where it's like, oh, wow. Like, and it just, the lessons you learn, and like, oh my gosh, it's great. It's great. I'm excited to get bees. There's so many lessons about bees and being a family. Like, I know we're like learning about all the bees. You should do it. You should get bees.
So I don't know. I'm going to follow your journey along, because the name Melissa, it means like, you know, like every name has a meaning.
Yeah.
The word means honeybee. Melissa means honeybee. And so I've always been like, oh, that would be so cool to have honeybees, because that's what my name means. But
you should. We're getting them in like 2 weeks, so you can follow.
Really? I'm going to follow along.
Do it. I'm nervous. I'm like, we have no idea what we're doing. But yeah,
you're doing it. You're just doing it.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it, because why the heck not? But yeah, like, bees are a family. They're just a big family, and there's one queen, and she works all day and night to like produce bees. And they all work to make her very comfortable and happy. And then there's protectors in the family, and they like protect the hive. And it's just so, and they all work together to make the honey. And it's just, there's so many like, you know, examples of just how to be a family and work together and help each other. Like, they're all helping each other, and they all love each other, and they would die for the queen bee. And I'm like, this is amazing. And
we've been doing your research.
The kids ask about it. Well, it's nice because all my followers are like, oh, we have bees, and like tell me all this stuff. And I'm like, this is great. But yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I think our dream is to go like actually buy a few acres and build a house and build a little, like, just a little homestead and kind of get bigger. I was telling Em, and I'm like, what if we got a cow one day? Like, we're just like normal people. We've never done any of this. So, but yeah, like, it's just fun to dream and grow and build. And yeah, I love it.
I love what you're doing. Okay, you didn't say where they could find your course earlier. Where can they find your course?
I know. I'm like, you can go to my website, which is abiayres.com, ABIAYRES.com. And I think you can buy it there. There's a code going on today only. Well, it's been going on for the last 2 weeks, but today's the last day. And you can use Gangster's Paradise as your code. And it's 50% off, which is really nice. So it's a $100 course, but you can get it for $49 today. I might extend it since we're doing this. Maybe I'll extend it till Monday or something. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's been it's been such a fun journey, and like seeing other people do it too, and seeing them like eat their first vegetable, or buy that calf and have a full food storage of meat is just like, do you buy meat? Have you bought like a cow before?
We're talking about getting a cow. We have a little pasture area in the backyard.
Like
to eat?
Yeah. Cow, like a half cow of like.
Okay, my kids want to buy a cow to butcher and keep in the pasture.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, we know.
That's
we
what you've been talking about, like the whole process.
That's what my kids want to do, but we haven't done
it yet. That is crazy. That's like next level. I'm like, bees. You're like, we're getting a cow.
Cows.
Yeah, well, we went to a local farmer, and like anybody can do this, right?
Yeah, tell us.
You go to a local farmer and you're like, I want to buy either a full, half, or a quarter cow. And we were like so scared because that's a lot of meat.
Yeah.
And like when Corona hit, both Anna and I just like looked at each other like, we literally could live for a full year on just the meat in our freezer. Like, best decision we've ever made. Anyway, that's part of the course too, but it's just like so nice because it's like, okay, like it's security and self-reliance. And anyway, I feel like I'm just talking all about the homesteading, but
that's what you're gonna do. Tell us all about it.
And I think like, okay, so work together, learn together, grow together, reap together. Just the top things I want to say is like cultivating together, meaning like each kid has a responsibility. Each person has a role. Kind of like the bees, like each person they all labor, they all have chores, all of their roles are important. And like learning that in a business, right? It's like you've got the CEO down to the janitor, they all have their role and their responsibility. And in a family, like that's the same. Like even Helen, who's 3 years old, she has her jobs. Like she needs to get the eggs, she needs to clean the eggs, she needs to water the flowers, and then like, so that together is just so key in any business, in any family, in any relationship. You have to build, you have to cultivate and work hard. Then learning together, like learning those life lessons of death and failure. Like, and I think we learn the most from our failures. Yeah. And I think that has been like the most, as a mom, that's been the most fun to watch. Like my son planted these pumpkin seeds and they were amazing. And we got like 20 pumpkins from one seed, and it was just cool. Like amazing. And my daughter planted watermelon seeds and like it died. Like it was just like, meh. And it was like so sad to watch. But it was like, okay, like what happened? We got to talk. You have deeper conversations. And today in this world, it's instant gratification. You can learn anything by going and watching a YouTube channel. You can get unlimited knowledge. You can be 100% distracted 100% of the time. Let's disconnect. And I think you probably feel this too. When your hands are dirty, you're not touching your phone.
True. Yeah.
Like you're not even thinking about your phone. You're not thinking about anything other than like what you're doing. And I feel like and it's like gratifying, and you're just learning so much from actually doing and getting your hands dirty. And that to us has been like so crucial. And that knowledge part is just, it makes you want more knowledge. It makes you want to try more things and new things and spark that like drive and passion. And then growing together, right? As you're learning, you're growing, and you're changing, and you're morphing, and you're appreciating, and you're grateful. And when you've had so many failures and then it works, you're just that much more grateful and like thankful. And you recognize that it's not just you, it's the sun, it's the soil, it's, Mother Earth and all the things, right? Working together. Mm-hmm. And that connection and bond and trust and just knowing that we have each other's back. And then the last one is reaping together and like enjoying that feeling, enjoying the accomplishment, when you work really hard that's when you like find the most joy for anything that's really hard is super, super rewarding. Motherhood, going on a mission, going, doing something, starting a business, like anything that's really hard is like worth it, because you put your head on your pillow at night and it's like, I know that like I am doing something good and positive and I worked really hard, and I don't know, like we reap the food and we reap the, all the physical things, but those like mental things are just, it would be worth it all, even if we didn't get any food out of it. Or So
I love what you said earlier about, I don't think I've ever thought about it in this way, about the instant gratification, because you're right. Like when you're outside, like in your garden, for example, or when you buy chickens, we've been waiting for some of our chickens to start laying. That's like a 5-6 month process.
Yeah, like how, like come on, right? Yeah. Or the pumpkin seed, like the patience. Where do our kids learn patience? Seriously, in this world, and in their lives, like where are they learning the work? I think that's just being lost. And I know. What do your kids say? They're like, come on, mom. Like, why aren't these vegetables growing? Why is it, the cow? Like, if you get a cow, you're going to have to work, a whole bunch of time to build that up. And
and it's consistent. Like, they, going back to the chickens, for example, they need food every day. They got to be watered every day. And you have to do that day after day after day for 5-6 months. And you're right. There's nowhere, I can't think of anything else in like a child's life that's like that.
No.
Unless you create
it.
And
I think at the beginning, it's like, it's kind of exciting. Okay, this is kind of the process, I feel like. In the beginning, it's super new and exciting for like 2 weeks. And then it's like, okay, these are chores. Like, oh, this is like work. Like, but then after that, it's like, I want to do this because I'm finding fulfillment. I'm seeing these chickens grow. I'm seeing the kombucha work. I'm seeing, and even with, like, if we talk about exercise or eating right, in the first, it's like, we're going to exercise. We're working really hard, super pumped. Then it's like, oh, this is hard. And most people like fall off. But with chickens, you can't fall off because they're like living creatures that rely on you. And same with the plants. And same with, it's like, oh, like I gotta keep
we're
going.
Doing this.
Yeah, we're there. We're there. Like a kid, right? It's like,
yes.
Oh, hard. As a mom, it's like, I have a baby, I'm so excited, and then it cries all night long and I want to die. But with time, it's like that, like, and I think that's a better example. With kids, you have them so excited, then you have them, it's really hard. Obviously, you love them. But then it turns into like, this is my whole life. I mean, my identity is being a mom. My purpose is being a mom, my role. And that transition from like being a not a mother to a mother, or, being unhealthy to healthy, or making those changes, that's where things change. Like that process of like pushing through that hard part and that hard time and saying, oh, this is hard, until it becomes that like, I like this. I look forward to feeding the chickens in the morning because of my why. And that's what you do for companies, right? Like, I think what you're doing is so cool. Like, Family Brand is literally branding families. And what's your motto? What's your logo? What's your theme? What are your goals? What are your, where do we want to be? And what do we want to do to build our family? And I think you guys are nailing that process of like teaching people how to come up with that and come up with their why and come up with ways that they can bind and build their families. And it's just a sad world we're living in. And I think Corona has made people like so close to their families that it's like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. Like, I can never get away. We can never get a break. But it's also been so eye-opening and so beautiful to be like, let's sit and just be quiet for a minute, and let's not have all these other distractions, and let's like hone in on the family. I have loved this time. I know it's crazy, but I have loved it because it has been so hard and so exhausting, and I want to rip my hair out. But I have had so many beautiful experiences with the kids. And Ammon and I have had so many like wonderful conversations together. And it's just like, wow, why did it take a freaking pandemic for us to do this? Like, why we're forced into this corner, and like literally we all thought we were forced into this corner, but there was a door behind us. We opened it, and it's this whole new world of like relationships and connection, and really focusing on what matters most with no distraction. And it's, for me, my problem is saying no to people. And it's been nice for Corona because I'm like, I don't have to say no. No one's asking. Like,
totally.
Corona. And it's like, oh my gosh, because I'm saying no to all these things, I get to say yes to my family. And I love that you're doing this. I love that you're saying, let's say yes to our family. Let's come up with some goals. Let's come up with some direction. And let's like be more intent and more direct on what we're going to do to actually cultivate, build, learn, grow, and reap together as a family.
Okay, you said that so beautifully. Thank you. Okay, thank you. And I agree that, well, what you were saying earlier about like the hardest things are the things that become the most beautiful things. And I think you're right. That's exactly how we feel about our journey into motherhood, and then, just family in general. Like, it's hard, but just having a plan and just things like that in place, like your brand and your identity, what you stand for, it just makes that journey like that much more rewarding, like it on the journey, and when you get to where you're going. Yeah. So if you could share any last parting wisdom, do you have anything you'd add?
Oh man, I think for me, like everybody always asks me, like, why are you so happy? Why are you so confident? What's like, What is it? Oh man. And I always say, like, you just have to like laugh at yourself. Like, you literally just have to laugh at yourself along the way. And instead of being fearful, like we talked about, and instead of like letting fear be your guide, let faith and hope and joy be your guide. Like, you get to choose your mindset. You get to choose what you think, how you feel, how you react. You cannot control anybody else. You cannot decide anything for anyone else. Like, the only thing that we truly, truly have as humans is decisions. Like, the only thing we truly are in control of is how we decide to feel, to act, to do. And so why not choose happiness, choose peace, choose positivity, make that conscious effort to just laugh at yourself, be happy, and when those bad feelings creep in, and we're obviously going to have those, like, feel it, let it pass, let it go, and just move on and get through that hard part. Get through the hard, because on the other side, it's beautiful and it's waiting for you.
I love that. Thank you. And I get that. So everyone, you got to follow Abby on Instagram. Like, it's just a little dose of just what you just said. Like, that's what the first time I saw your Instagram, that's what I felt from you. It's just like, choose happy. Like,
thank you.
I love that. So thank you for
that. I appreciate that so much. I'm excited to get to know you better. I want to come down and get on the farm.
Yeah, come on down. It'll be awesome. Okay.
You can come up here and get my honey. I'll come down and get your meat.
Yes.
We'll do a little switch.
I would love it. Thank you, Abby.
No, thank you for having me. This was great.